Welcome to the Feminine Principle podcast, supporting women to let go of the ghosts from their past by exploring the hidden side of their female psyche with shamanic shadow work for women, with your host, Nicola Lucy.
Hello ladies, and welcome to this episode of the Feminine Principle podcast, where today we are exploring the manifestation of love and the importance of loving yourself first. And so love. We either love it, hate it, or it drives us nuts in the pursuit of it. So let me ask you, what does love mean to you? You see, we all want to feel more love in our lives and in our relationships. We want to be loved and love in return, fiercely and with all of our heart. And yet love can often feel elusive at times, like sand falling through the fingers. 1 minute it's there and the next it is gone. Love can break open the heart, or it can shatter it into a million pieces, leaving a pile of broken glass on the floor. We have all grown up with a version of love, the love or the perception of love we were raised within as a child. Was that love conditional, or was it unconditional love that you experienced? Did you receive acknowledgement and acceptance for who you were as a child, your natural spirit and gifts? Or were you manipulated, or did you learn how to manipulate your behaviour to earn it? Whatever your version of love is, this then manifests in how you love as an adult. It manifests in how you seek love in your life. For many women who come to shadow work, having a loving relationship and bringing more love into their life is their ultimate goal. They may have a version of love, but it's not enough. They don't feel whole, and they often feel lost and confused, feeling there is something wrong with them because they are not able to manifest love in their life. And this is why we end up alone or find ourselves in dysfunctional relationships, or relationships where there is a sense of love for a while and then it dissipates over time. The relationship is no longer fulfilling. It loses its spark, and if there is a spark, it's normally with heartbreak and sadness, anger and resentment, with a need to break it down or sabotage it. It's not the relationship or the absence of a relationship that loses the spark of love. It's our own relationship that we have with love that has doused the flame. And I see this challenge of love and relationships all the time with my clients, and my question is always the same. How much do you love yourself? And this is where the journey always begins. For how can we manifest love if we don't know how to love ourselves, wholly, fully, and with passion? If we really don't know what love truly is on the inside, how can we manifest it on the outside? You see, over the years, we have built up so much armour around the heart to keep us feeling safe and protected, and to help us survive the many challenges of life. These manifest in the unconscious patterns, beliefs and behaviours we have created, yet this armour prevents us from loving and from being loved. My own journey with love has been a challenging yet deeply rewarding path. I have experienced unconditional love by two prominent people in my life. The first was my mum, who was officially my grandma before she was granted legal custody of me when my birth mother gave me up for adoption at the age of 2. And then there's Michele, my partner of 24 years. Both of them saw me for who I am, accepted me for who I am, and never once tried to change me, and instead they held space for me to grow into all that I am today. This is how I learnt about unconditional love. In my early years, I brought suffering to these two people because I was suffering inside trying to find my own way with love, as the abandonment wound twisted around my heart and clouded so many aspects of my own identity and my own innate ability to love and relate in a way which felt authentic and true. And all they did was hold space for me to find my own way, never wavering or manipulating me, never judging me or procrastinating upon me, just holding steadfast like the roots of a tree. And over time, with their unconditional love, I have grown into love, because they helped and supported me to love myself first. When I reflect upon these two people in my life, a memory comes to mind from more than a decade ago, when I was at my lowest and in a really dark place, raging around like an animal wounded and trapped in a cage. Michele held me and gave me 3 simple yet powerful words. Io sono bella, which means in English, I am beautiful. And he wouldn't let me leave the room until I said these words. So I raged more. I threw things and hurt myself because I couldn't say the words, because they felt like poison and pain in my mouth. Obviously, as time passed and I wore myself down, my rage turned to heartbreaking tears and a river of grief flooded out. And he held me, nothing more, nothing less, repeating the words like a mantra straight into my heart. Slowly, gradually, I whispered those 3 words, Io sono bella. And they pierced the armour around my heart, and together we repeated them until I was singing and dancing with them, with all my armour falling to the floor. This was the first time I truly experienced unconditional love for myself. I was 38 years old. Love will always start and end with the self, with you. And love is at the very heart of all shadow work. To experience more love in your life, you will need to learn how to love the deeply wounded aspects of your soul and psyche, for they are woven through the tapestry that is your being, and will bring nothing but darkness and confusion until you find the gold in each thread. You will need to learn to love your anger and your jealousy, your sadness and your grief, your depressed self, your broken self, and even your weak self. You will need to love your failures and your differences, your imperfections, your hysteria and your madness, and your irrational, impulsive, and chaotic self. You will need to love all of your emotions and your triggers, however they present themselves and with whom. You will need to love all of your body, your sickness, your blood, and the transitions you experience as a woman, as a mother, and as a daughter, through pregnancy and birth, miscarriage and abortion, menarche and menopause, life and death. For you are a woman, multifaceted, unique and magnificent, complex in your nature and divine in your soul. You will need to fall in love with where you are now, what you are feeling, experiencing and manifesting now in this divine present moment. You will need to fall in love with where you are now, what you are feeling, experiencing and manifesting now in this divine present moment. Whether it is good or bad, positive or negative, empowering or disempowering, you are creating it in this precise moment, and it is all part of your healing journey, unraveling and reweaving simultaneously. Only love for yourself can heal the trauma you have suffered through, the conditioning you have experienced, and the pain you have endured. Only love for yourself can break the chains that bind you, the clouds that overshadow you, and the unconscious patterns that govern you. The more permission you give to yourself to love all these parts of you, the more your heart will open. And in doing so, you will start to remember the gifts of play and pleasure, and how these keep the fire burning within and your spirit alive. It is not the run for money and wealth, success, and the never-ending goals, and it certainly is not a perceived sense of safety, security, and stability that will give you the love you so deeply desire. These are all illusions that cut you off from truly feeling and being in love with yourself and with others. The more permission you give yourself to create and live in pleasure and play every single day, the more love you will bring into your life. Not from the outside, but from deep within. For you have an extraordinary capacity to love and be loved, if only you give yourself permission to remember to love all that is buried in your shadow. And so here are a few shadow work prompts to help you bring more love into your life. What does love look like for you? How does it manifest in your life? What are your beliefs around love? And when you look around you, what do you see? Do you see love, or do you see something else? Because we are all seeing the world through our shadow-tinted glasses until the day comes when we decide to take them off. And finally, what is one thing you can do for yourself today that will bring you pleasure? And so, ladies, that's all for this week. And remember, my door is always open if you're ready to redefine the relationship you have with love, so you can love more and bring more love into your life and relationships, you can come on over and book a call with me by visiting thefeminineprinciple.com. Until next time, may your journey onwards be full of love, light, and revelation.
Are you ready to break free from the ghosts of your past, to live with more freedom and a clear sense of purpose and inner confidence? If so, book a chat with me to explore the potent magic of one-to-one shadow walking sessions at thefeminineprinciple.com.